So I may be jumping the gun a bit early, but next week I will get points. The points I deserve.
You'll get your points, don't you worry. To be fair, I wasn't expecting it to happen outside of the school. I was totally expecting it to be inside the school.
But yay! Decker versus Gentle next week!
I'll say this: I'm heavily curious as to what's going to happen here.
But that's not episode 21. We're on episode 20 of
It's true.
Hero Academia Season 4.
Mm-hmm. A lot of showing area around the place. A lot of her acting super cute and
A lot
adorable the
of,
whole time.
hey, we haven't seen this character in a while.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. More of Jiro being impressive with instruments.
More of you fighting over Jiro being impressive with instruments.
Hey, look, man, we all got the things that we like. All right. It
Okay,
just so
okay.
happens that mine is a punk girl that can play instruments.
And I'm not too sure if she's just drawn this way, but I'm guessing that Labrava is older than she looks.
I would assume she's probably like, I'm going to assume that she's probably close to the same age as like the students.
Oh, I was guessing more like mid to early 20s, but she's just short.
I'm guessing at minimum that's her age, is that she's close to the students, maybe a little older.
Okay.
Maybe like closer to the third year students. Also, do you think you have an idea as to what her quirk is yet or no?
Mm, her compassion for gentle um gives her something.
Gives her something.
Um gives her the ability to gain whatever Gentle's quirk is. So if she loves somebody enough, she can manifest their quirk due to the love they share. So she can share quirks with people if she loves them enough. I don't know.
Look, when she started talking about their backstory and how they met, or no, they were talking about the plan. Um, there was a point where she pulled out what was specifically indicated to be like a house key or whatever. I feel like her quirk is just straight up being able to unlock things.
So you could say she is the master of unlocking.
You could technically also say she's the master of hacking, which is kind of what she alluded to. Because it makes me wonder if she can use that, if she has like an unlocking ability, if she can just straight up use the quirk to unlock like computers and stuff.
Oh.
Like anything that has any kind of lock, she can straight up just click undo.
Ooh. If it's not that, I am going to say, does the person have to love her back, or can this just be unrequited love?
I'm going to assume that Gentle doesn't actually love her in the way that Labrava seems to love him. Like she
Hmm.
seems to be full on like the idea of romantic love with him. Um, Gentle does not seem to have that. I think
Okay.
he looks at her way more like a daughter or a granddaughter or something.
Okay. My theory is that if she loves a person enough, regardless how they feel about her, she can somehow manifest their quirk. So I'm not too sure to the extent of their own, or if she's just copying it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm just going to say love is the name of her, or like love copy.
I was gonna say, is it like should we just call it mimic? Does she turn into a chest?
What? The chain is facing the wrong way.
Are you sure it's the chain? Maybe that one plank is out of place. Maybe the banding on the chest is slightly different.
I won't have to look at every chest from now on.
Flashbacks.
Oh my god. Dark Souls is going to be ending soon-ish temporarily on the channel.
I was gonna say hiatus, but okay.
That's a better choice of words than the one I had.
It was.
We will be getting back to it after we do our interlude, so if it abruptly stops, don't worry, we will be getting back to it soon.
In the meantime, enjoy the interlude. We're jumping from one of my favorite games to yours.
Yes, we are.
All right. Anyway, back to the actual, meat of discussion.
Yes.
Yeah, Aerie shows up, a lot of showing around, just, have a brief thing. We get a nice little drop about, from the principal in Midnight about how if anything goes wrong at the school, they're supposed to shut down the festival and evacuate. And it's going to look bad for the school again. So if this thing goes on without a hitch, yeah, there's going to be some trouble.
What is the principal's quirk?
I believe he was straight up just experimented on. Like, I don't think he was human to begin with. I could be wrong.
Quirk, high spec.
Yeah, hyperintelligence, I think.
Oh, okay, you're right. He was a regular animal, but
I think it was One for All, or All for One, that experimented on him and gave him a quirk.
yes, the hyperintelligence quirk.
Yep. So that's what it was. I thought it had something to do with that. So yeah, we got that little nugget of information dropped, so that's just adding some stakes to this.
And does Nizu mean rat in Japanese? No, Chu is rat, as in Pikachu. I know. I think Nizu may be an animal.
It's a play on words for rat. Nezumi is rat.
Oh, Nizumi. Okay.
Also written with the kanji for base, root, basis, foundation, and the kanji for saliva, fairy, ford, and moisten.
I'm just. Wow, Japanese kanji is confusing.
Oh, yeah. Jumping off for a second here on a mini tangent. So, one of the things I was learning about when I was listening to a little bit of people talking about Death Stranding, which I plan to go into as blind as I can, one of the things they were mentioning was like how some character names have like all of these puns, and it's like what the difference is between English and Japanese in these puns, where it's like the Japanese, you can layer them to a ridiculous extent from like, what was it? He says in English, it's like you get the first pun and that's pretty cool, and then you get the second one with the same set of words, and it's like, all right, that's kind of impressive. And then the third one, you get like, what? And then the fourth one, you're just completely lost. But in the Japanese, it all layers on top of each other, making it more and more and more ridiculous, even though it makes sense at the same time.
Huh.
Like, they can layer their puns so heavily because all of these kanjis can be like written in different ways. God, my English today.
But that's one thing about Japanese that's cool, but also highly confusing.
Oh yeah, from an outsider looking in, we are so lost by puns like this. But yeah, Midoriya gets kicked off the dance team. I love the fact that Mina is just literally dressed up in a suit and tie with like shades on, and everyone in the background is just like super depressed by it.
But he gets to be the part of the effects team.
Well, the whole time they were doing that, I'm like, but couldn't Sero do something with his tape and make up a rig like that?
I'm
Like they
sure.
like they could use his tape and then just have Aoyama just swinging around the place.
And what do you think Deku's support item will be?
It's some kind of glove. Maybe it's supposed to reinforce his fingers for that. Kind of like the way the bracers on his arms are
Oh, okay.
to help support his arms if he ever actually needs to use them.
Huh.
So I'm assuming it's another like brace type or something like that. I can't really think of what else it could be when it's using when it's literally just using the force of his fingers flicking.
Yeah.
Unless it can somehow store up all One for All's energy inside the gauntlet or something that he can fire it out later. That's the only other thing I could think of. If he could
Really
somehow,
interesting.
yeah, if he could somehow transfer All for One or One for All's power and lace it into the glove as well, and have that break instead of like his fingers or something.
Oh, and 10% tangent here. No, we didn't see the recent My Hero Academia movie that just dropped stateside.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that and I forgot.
Yeah, with Fathom. Yeah, I saw it too, but it was like 3 days beforehand, and I'm like, oh
Mhm.
crap, it's a little bit too late to ask you if you want to see it.
Yeah, yeah, we can figure it. We can watch it at some point and do a mini thing on it. But yeah, neither of us have watched it. I forget. It takes place between seasons. I know that, but I forget which ones. I want to say 2 and 3, but I could be wrong.
Do they do yearly movies for this or not?
No, I think literally this one and the one that they had I think last year that was a prequel. Um, is literally the only ones. I think those are the only two movies they're ever going to do for My Hero, if I remember right.
Oh, because I know like huge franchises like Pokemon and One Piece have yearly movies.
Yeah, yeah, I don't see My Hero doing that. Um, there is, however, so I was watching somebody review the last episode like a few hours before I watched this one, and some of them are people that have read the manga. And one of the things they said is that Mineta goes from saying his best line in that episode, in episode 19, to literally saying one of his worst in episode 20,
Oh,
which is the one that was directed at Eri. And they're not wrong. It's probably one of the worst things he's ever said.
oh,
Like, do you even remember what it was?
no.
He says, I can't wait to see what you look like in 10 years.
Oh my god, yes! That was
It's
so
one of
creepy.
it's one of those scummy things you can say to someone because this girl's like freaking 8.
That is so creepy.
Jesus Christ. Can we go back to when you're like literally fourth wall breaking? I prefer that. Oh man. So yeah, I'm trying to think what else actually happened in this episode.
Um, we
Like the first half was tour with Eri.
we find out everybody loves the same kind of tea.
Oh, that's right. We got to see Tech Girl again. I'm blanking on her name. Ugh. What's her name? The Tech Girl. It starts with an H, I think. What's it? The girl that's got babies all the time.
Um,
Uh,
my
Mai. Her name's Mai. Is that it?
my Mei.
Hatsume. That's it. That's who I couldn't think of. Yes, we get to see her again. I'm sorry. She's freaking great because she's so eccentric and insane. Apparently, she's running around in the same forest that All Might and Deku are training in, which is interesting. Which makes me wonder if she might find out something by mistake, especially because that seemed to be like an extra camera, um, like some kind of camera thing that she had flying around. Also, the fact that Midoriya's freaking out at the fact that he didn't know All Might used like some kind of tech item. Like, there's that
Yes.
moment where he's just like, "I need to find it. I need to see it. What was it? I need to know what it is." Just like freaking the hell out.
And how like 10% of Gentle Criminal's plan involves getting particular tea from a very specific tea house.
Yes, because they only have that special brand of tea. They're the only ones.
That somehow Jiro managed to get.
It wasn't Jiro. It was Yao Momo.
Oh yes, her.
She got it, and her family's rich, so that's not really that surprising. That's literally the reason she got into UA in the first place, because her family has money.
But all in all, this was a pretty good episode.
A lot of laid back fun stuff, yeah.
I'm really looking forward to the fight next week to see what Gentleman's really, I mean, what his quirk actually is.
I'm curious how it works exactly, because if it is literally changing things into like a rubber consistency, because when they're going over the plan, Ralph Brava talks about using his, like, why aren't they using his quirk? And they're like, oh yeah, no, there's aerial security.
Hmm.
Like even like Gentle even is very impressive in the way that he can at least like analyze things. Like he even knew that they were probably going to be putting out Watchdog or whatever, that hero with this huge sense of a great sense of smell.
Yeah.
So he's pretty good at analyzing things. Like
Hmm.
if he put his skills toward like a better use, towards like more good, he could probably be a really good hero.
Due to the fact that he wants to be a celebrity more than a villain, I'm guessing he will be more ambiguous near the end of the arc.
I don't
Maybe,
think he'll go hero. He may start leaning more toward that way, but I don't see him going full hero.
right. I had the same thought, but maybe he'll be a little bit of both. More
Mhm.
vigilante than full on hero or full on villain.
Yeah, I honestly like. He seems to be like it seems like he grew up back in the time, right, like he said, when heroes and villains were way more ambiguous as to who was who. Like he said, it wasn't until really All Might showed up that it was more well defined. And he's definitely, it seems like he misses that type of hero, the one who is both good and bad, who holds both within them.
So I guess come back next week and join us for our discussion breaking down Deku versus Gentle.
I'm super curious to see how it goes. Because if it's bounciness, if that's the quirk he has, I'm curious if he can do it to just surfaces or people.
Um, I'm going to say his is called Rubber and
It's probably something that simple, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it's
La
not.
Brava is love share something.
I'm still super curious why specifically it had a house key. I'm leaning toward it being like locks and keys or something.
She is the master of unlocking.
She unlocked Gentle's heart.
Aww. Later.
Bye bye.